Hi y'all. I've been asked to give a short tutorial on how I draw my bubbles. The way that I came about this was I entered into this contest where we had to color a picture with just gray and one other color of our choice. So the girl liked my bubbles, so I'm gonna do a short tutorial, and I'm no expert. I'm sure there's better ways to do bubbles, but this is just my way. This is how I do it. So I use Prismacolor pencils, and for the background, the blue water, I'm using Mediterranean blue, I'm using black, and I'm using a white jelly roll pen, and that's for the highlights. So I colored in my background and start with a sharp tip for the black. For the background, I use a relatively dull tip and just little circles to try to get it even until I'm ready to do shading. So what I do is I start off with, as best I can do as far as a circle goes. I know sometimes that can be difficult, and don't quite close it up at the top. And the reason for this is because you want to give it the appearance of being translucent, and it's going to be kind of open wherever your light source is coming from. And typically when you're doing bubbles like in ocean, your light source is going to come from the top because that's where the daylight comes in at, and it's darker toward the bottom. So that's why I'm doing it with the break at the top. And so once you get your circle how you want your circle, then you're going to come in very, very lightly and just layer on top of that blue. Just almost don't even touch the paper. You can always go darker on the bubble, but it's hard to take away that darkness once you start. So I come in and I do about a crescent like that, and then towards the bottom I start darkening it up. And you don't darken it up all the way around, just about, I don't know, you can see how I'm doing it. And then again, I'll start with a little bit of fading, just barely skimming that blue. If you have to dull your tip a little bit to get it, then you can. Now, if you feel like you've gotten it a little bit too dark and it's not quite as transparent as you want it to be, you can come back in and add a little bit more blue to it. Okay, so after you get the look that you want, you're going to come in with your jelly roll, and you're going to add that little reflection across the bottom, and you're going to come across the top where your break is and do it this way. Now, the good thing about the jelly roll pens is, like, if you're doing this on a color sheet that already has the circle drawn, the jelly roll will cover the draw at the break, or cover the draw line at the break of the bubble. So you just go over that, and it dries pretty quick. I usually come back down here and kind of give it a little bit more darkness and thin up that line with the color pencil, and then I'll come back up here and give it a little bit more definition, like that. Let's see, I think that looks pretty okay. What do you guys think? Might have to come in and push that back just a little bit. That's just my preference. And use your gut, use your instincts on how you think it should look. And you can even come back in and just give it a little more if you want to, right around the edges. But that's pretty good. I like that. So I'm gonna do one more. You can do them different sizes. They don't have to be, the same size. Come in with that light as possible. Remember, you're creating a translucent effect. Then come back down and add that dark shadow towards the bottom. This is really good for fixing the circle if it's uneven as well. Light as possible for your shadow effect. And then come back in with your jelly roll. And close it off at the top. And like I said, I like to thin that line out a little bit. And bring this one back up over. And there you go. Let's see if I can zoom in a little better for you. See? It's that easy. And when you look at it from a distance, it looks like a bubble. Hope you enjoy.